So, you're an e-commerce seller, and you know that feeling of being stuck, right? But what if I told you that growth isn't about luck or just adding more products? It's about having a system. In this explainer, we're going to break down the 5-lever system that turns those struggling stores into real growth machines. Let's dive in.
Does this look familiar to you? You've put in all the work, you've launched your store, but you're just stuck. You can't seem to break past that 10 orders a day mark. It feels like a wall that so many sellers slam into. But here's the good news. There's a door in that wall.
And how about this one? You're pouring money into ads, you're hoping for that flood of new customers. But at the end of the month, you're just looking at your bank account going, did any of that actually make me money? That feeling of uncertainty is a huge pain point. And today, we're going to fix it.
Now here's the crucial insight, the thing you really need to get. For most sellers, the problem isn't a bad product. The problem is you're treating your business like a complex engine, but you don't have the instruction manual. You don't get how all the parts work together. Well, today we're handing you that manual.
So here's our roadmap. We'll start with the seller's dilemma. I'll introduce you to the 5-lever system. Then we'll break down how to attract, convert, and protect your profits. And finally, and this is the best part, we'll give you a 6-month action plan.
Okay, so this is it, the 5-lever growth system. And honestly, this is the key to everything. You should think of this as the secret code to your business. Once you understand these 5 things and how they all connect, you can diagnose any problem and unlock some real, sustainable growth. And here are the 5 levers, in order. And the order is so important. It all starts with traffic, getting people to your page. Next up is conversion, turning those visitors into actual buyers. Then there's pricing, which decides if you're actually profitable. Then you have returns, which can quietly kill that profit. And only then, when those first 4 are solid, do you hit ads to amplify the whole system. Getting this sequence right is absolutely critical. This quote just nails the biggest mistakes so many sellers make. They jump straight to ads, right? But that's like pouring expensive fuel into an engine that's leaking oil and sputtering. It doesn't fix a thing, it just helps you burn through your cash way faster. You have to stabilize your engine before you hit the gas. All right, let's break down those first few levers. Attract and convert. This is all about the fundamentals. Getting people to your product page in the first place, and then actually convincing them to click that buy button. Let's kick things off with traffic. The formula here is pretty simple. It's your total impressions multiplied by your click-through rate, or CTR. But here's where it gets really powerful. Just look at the math. Let's say you get 10,000 impressions. If you can move your CTR from just 1% up to 3%, you've literally tripled your traffic from 100 to 300 clicks without changing your product or your price at all. That is serious leverage. But where does that traffic even come from? Get this. Over 80% of customers buy from the first 2 search pages. Let that sink in for a second. If your product is buried on page 5 for your main keyword, you might as well be invisible. So let me ask you this, and be honest. When was the last time you actually searched for your own keyword to see where you rank? Okay, so you've got the traffic coming in. Now, how do you convert them? You have to remember, people don't buy features, they buy benefits. A great way to think about this is the FAB model. The F feature is what it is, a 100% cotton shirt. The advantage is what it does. It's breathable. But the benefit, that's what it does for the customer. It keeps them comfortable in hot weather. That's the part that actually sells. Conversion is an emotional decision, and it's built on trust. Just look at the difference here. Would you buy a 3.9-star product if there was a 4.3-star option sitting right next to it? No way. That tiny difference in the rating number creates a massive gap in conversion rates because it instantly builds or destroys a customer's trust. And now for the pricing lever. This is the one where so many sellers lose money and don't even realize it. You see that selling price of $5.99 and you think you're doing okay. But then you subtract the product cost, the platform commission, your ad spend, and the impact of returns, and suddenly your real profit is only $109. If you don't know this number, your real, after everything profit for every single product, you're not running a business, you're just gambling. Okay, so we've covered attracting customers and converting them profitably. Now the game shifts. It's time to talk about the final levers, protect and amplify. This is all about keeping the profits you make and then scaling up the smart way. Returns are so much more dangerous than just a lost sale. They are silent killers. See, they don't just eat up your profit with refunds and shipping costs. They also hurt your ranking in the search algorithm. And a lower ranking means less visibility, which means, you guessed it,
fewer future sales. It's a really vicious cycle.
So how do you fight back against returns? Use this simple system. Treat your negative reviews like free consulting. Seriously, download the last 30 of them, group them into categories. Is everyone talking about sizing, the color, quality? Then you identify the root cause, and you go and update your listing or your product. A lot of the time, the problem isn't the product itself, but the expectation you set for it.
And that brings us to ads, our final lever. And I need you to remember the golden rule you see here. Ads amplify what you already have. If you've got a profitable, high-converting system, ads are like pouring rocket fuel on it. But if your system is broken, ads just amplify your losses, and they do it faster. Before you spend another cent, you absolutely must know your numbers. Anything less is just emotional spending.
We've covered the whole 5-lever system. Now, let's put it into practice. Let's make it tangible with a 6-month action plan to build a business that actually lasts.
Here it is, your 6-month roadmap. And the most important part of this is the sequence. Notice how you spend the first 2 entire months just optimizing your listings and fixing your returns before you even touch ads in month 3. Growth has to be sequential. You can't skip the foundations. This is how you build a real brand, not just a temporary shop.
So, I'll leave you with this question. What is your weakest lever? And be honest with yourself. Do you know your click-through rate right now? What about your exact return percentage? Do you know your real, after everything, profit per unit? Because here's the single most important takeaway from all of this. Whatever your weakest lever is, that is the bottleneck. That is the thing that's controlling your growth. Fixing anything else right now is a waste of your time. Your entire focus needs to be on identifying and strengthening that one single area.
And we'll end on this powerful quote. Motivation is great, but it fades. Real, lasting growth comes from execution. You now have the system, you have the plan. The only question left is, what is the first thing you're going to execute?